just encapsulate this past year, where we're at now, look back on a year?
Well, it's tough to look back on the last year. It was incredibly challenging and tragic for so many people across the state of South Dakota. And we were in an unprecedented situation, dealing with a pandemic and a virus that we did not fully know or understand what its effects would be. I would say that I'm very proud of the partnerships that we have in South Dakota, that we have been in the top 3 states in the nation leading in vaccinations. The partnership we have with our healthcare systems, with our Department of Health, with volunteers. Thousands of volunteers have stepped up to help facilitate clinics getting shots in arms. So what we're doing today to protect the public is incredible. The partnership we had throughout the last year of having the experts in the room understanding the science and then getting information out to people to help them make better decisions for their family, I think is one of the reasons why South Dakotans today understand and are better prepared for the future.
I'm going to shift gears on this one on a different
Sure.
topic. Yesterday, state appropriators voted down a bill, the Enhanced Ellsworth Air Force Base bill appropriation. The B-21 Raiders all tied in on that one. We heard from Representative Johnson that the bill may not be dead, but just your first reaction on hearing that project funding supporting Ellsworth was cut. I know it's been a major project of yours in past government.
Are you talking about the specific wellness center funding, or are you talking about the infrastructure funding they requested? The infrastructure funding? Well, I know the budget process is still being debated and will go back and forth. There has been no agreement as to what will be included in the final budget, and I expect that to still be a part of the discussion. One thing, Patrick, I do want to add, Ellsworth is incredibly important to this state. It is something that we are proud of, that those airmen that serve there, move to our community, and defend this country are very special. And what I've always loved about South Dakota is we make them a part of our family. So taking care of them, making sure they have the resources that they need and their quality of life is incredibly important. So I hope the legislature will continue to focus on that when they have their budget discussions. Joe?
Yesterday in Senate Health and Human Services on House Bill 1100, which would delay implementation of medical marijuana, an amendment was approved and sent to the Senate floor to add patient protections, is how it's characterized, that would allow for affirmative defense to be made for somebody who otherwise would qualify for medical marijuana. Do you support that? Will you, should that end up on your desk, would you veto that or would you sign it?
We're looking at that bill and seeing some of the amendments that were added, and we'll continue to do that. I think that what happened last fall with what was placed on the ballot for 2 different marijuana measures was unprecedented. There's no other state that had recreational and medical marijuana measures on its ballot at the exact same time. Implementing medical marijuana as quickly as that ballot measure forced South Dakota to do was also unprecedented. So we're just trying to take responsible action, make sure we set up the program correctly, that we're doing it the right way so that we don't run into unintended consequences throughout the process. Go ahead, Bob.
I need to ask this. $600,000 your family members.
My family members, brothers.
Yes. Do you have any statement on that?
Well, just that I have no ties to them or their business interests or to those companies. The legislature helped set up the parameters of the program. A third-party vendor actually ran the program and determined eligibility of those funds going to the businesses that receive funds through the small business grants. Lee.
As you mentioned earlier, your Down syndrome abortion ban has sailed through the legislature. It looks like the 8th Circuit has enjoined a similar law in Arkansas. Is the hope to join that case and get it before the Supreme Court?
That determination hasn't been made.
Governor, I wanted to ask you about the bill dealing with open fields and private property. That was smoked out in the Senate yesterday, but 17 out of 18 senators voted for that. So it would need at least one more to support it to get on the calendar. What is your message to senators today as they weigh that?
Well, my message to them, I laid out pretty clearly in a letter earlier this week. Have you had the chance to see that? Yeah, it's about my experience being someone who loves the outdoors, being a sportsman and loving our wildlife, but also being a landowner and specifically providing resources and food and habitat for them over the years in my business, but then also recognizing that consistency is important. Our policy today is that our conservation officers don't go onto private land unless they have permission or reasonable suspicion or a warrant. I would like to see that in statute to be consistent. I think we have dramatically improved relationships with landowners in game fish and parks over the years, and it's important that we codify that to make sure it continues.
I have a question on the phone.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, this is Angela Kenneke from Kello TV.
Yeah. Go ahead, Angela.
After all of the national attention that you received at CPAC this weekend and on Face the Nation, and you continue to fundraise, you've consistently said you're not seeking national office. Is that still the case? And if it is, what is your motivation behind the appearances and the fundraising?
Well, I absolutely intend to run for re-election to be governor of South Dakota. I'm hoping the people here will support me in that. I've been incredibly humbled to be in this role. My reason for attending and speaking at events like that is to tell the story of South Dakota. When I ran for governor, I told everyone here that I believed South Dakota could be an example to the nation, that we have incredible people, we're a small state, we can do things here to help families be successful, build strong families, and that what we do could really be an example for other states to follow. So that is the message that I carry, and it has helped us recruit businesses to our state. It has helped us recruit families to our state, more kids in our school buildings, more state sales tax coming in to help fund special services, and it is something that I'll continue to do. I'm very proud of South Dakota, and I'm thankful that the people here have trusted me and worked with me to get through this last challenging year and go after opportunities in the future. Thank you.